Good morning, winners, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Morning Cartoons. I'm recording this one a few days early because I'll be out of town this weekend, but it'll still be up on time for you guys. So, I had a new anime that I watched this week, and this one was actually recommended from Chaos Ninja, or Anthony, who's been on a few of our Minecraft Let's Plays, and the anime is called One Punch Man. Now, it takes a lot for me to get into an anime, so for me to get into this one was a little bit different because if the art style isn't exactly what I'm looking for, or if I think it doesn't look as like something I would watch, like I'm not a big Kill la Kill person, even though I love FLCL, I don't tend to watch it. But I sat down, I heard great reviews, and I actually saw the Deadpool mashup that somebody did, where they did Deadpool trailer with One Punch Man. I thought it was hysterical, and I sat down the other night, and I just kind of binge watched the first 4 episodes, and over the week I finished the rest of it. Now, the anime is about Sachima, who is a hero for fun. One day, when he's out looking for a job, he runs across a crab monster who wants to kill a kid that made fun of him and drew nipples on him. Like, nipples where they're supposed to be because he's anatomically looks more like a human. And it turns out that this kid isn't very pretty. Like, he looks like he has balls on his chin, and it's pretty funny the fact that they make fun of him the way that they do. He's like, why am I saving you? You're not even a cute kid. But after that, he decides he's going to be a hero for the rest of the show. And when he does this, he goes out and trains every day for 3 years. And all he does for his training is strength training, and not even good strength training as they make fun of in the show. For instance, I'm trying to think of the one. He does 100 push-ups a day, 100 squats, and then he also runs 6 kilometers. And that is his strength training for an entire day, which a lot of people make fun of. Now, there are other heroes in the show, and they're all very, very important for one specific reason. It's called One Punch Man. Pretty much because of all of Sachima's training, he trained so hard he went bald one day. He's now so strong that he can't, he actually can't beat or not beat anyone without throwing just a single punch. No matter how big they are, no matter what, everything he does just is one punch. So often there are other heroes that are involved that are there to sit there and show how strong the other enemy is, because when compared to Sachima, they're not strong at all. Now, when it comes to also comparing his strength, the show does another great thing, and that's it changes the art style. Sachima, when he's drawn normally, is very bland. He looks very, very, I'm almost gonna say a little bit weaker. Like he's very scrawny looking. There's not a lot of detail to him. The colors don't pop as much, and the way his eyes are drawn, he just always looks extremely bored. Which is a big plot point in the show. In the first few seasons, he talks about, or the first few episodes, I'm sorry, it's only on one season. The first few episodes, he talks about how life doesn't have the same amount of meaning as it used to. He's bored because every time he goes out to fight somebody, all it takes is one punch. And to put this in contrast, in like the second episode, there's a giant that is storming around, made by his mad scientist brother, and it's the younger brother who is this huge bodybuilder. He's one of the strongest there was, so they give him this incredibly strong rage hormone, and he's just massive. Like, he steps and the city's just destroyed. Like, several times taller than any of the tallest buildings. And Sachima, like, jumps up on him, and it doesn't really show you how he gets up there, but it kind of alludes that it just was one jump, and he's standing on top of him, and you see the guy destroy a few buildings. So you're like, oh, he's really strong. Like, this is no joke. Yet, when Sachima fights him, all he does is throw one punch, like, to the guy's jaw, and his head explodes, and he dies, and that's it. Now, what else makes this really cool is, I said the art style changes. Every time that nothing's going on, I said it was very bland, the colors didn't pop, there was nothing overly fantastic about it. However, when a fight happens, the art style, like the angles become harsher, all the lines become bolder. They do some of those accent lines as you would see in shows like Attack on Titan that they do really well to express all the fear, except here it looks like a really hard focus. The characters, like Sachima, his muscles begin to pop, and everything, like all like the training that you can see, or all the training that he did is now visible, and you can see it, and he looks powerful. The way that they show how strong he is, like he'll spar with Genos, who is a cyborg that wants to be taught how to become stronger, like Master Sachima, as he calls it, and I just drop off the edge. Master Sachima, as he calls it, because he wants to defeat an android that pretty much wiped out his entire family. And so they spar at one point, and he's going all out on Sachima, Genos is, and yet he looks like he's not even doing anything. He's going as fast as he possibly can, and they show Sachima like he's like, I told you, like, I don't want you to go easy on me. I want you to fight this how you would normally fight. In the beginning, like, you can tell that he is going easy on him because there's nothing happening, and Sachima's just kind of like standing there, like, taking it, and he's still drawn in his same dorky pattern as if nothing was happening. But then he gets serious. The lines change, shadows become harsher, colors pop, and he's now keeping up, and he's like, okay, if you want me to keep up, he does. And you just see his speed explode, and eventually Genos thinks he gets him with like his powerful incineration cannon, and he's like, hey, I'm right behind you, and he throws a punch like at Genos, and you watch the whole wind, and it does the cool like whoosh powers coming out, almost DBZ thing, and he kind of like flicks Genos in the head and goes, oh, but you know what, I'm really hungry now, so I think we should we're gonna get food because I'm hungry. And Genos turns around, and the mountainside behind them in the forest is just gone. And it's not like just wind gone, like it looks like a meteor kind of hit it, which is just a whole nother level to Sachima's power that they do a great job at showing. And Genos even comments that he, doesn't even think Sachima knows the full extent of what he's able to do. Now, Genos, when he fights, there's another type of art that's done, and I don't know what the technical term is, so I'm going to call it like a standstill art for the most part. And what happens is the art is hyper realistic, and not realistic, but it's the way to describe the art is that it's almost perfect in every way. The details, it's very, very visceral in the way that it's done, for lack of a better term. And the art is absolutely like, it stands still, nothing moves in the picture, so it shows every detail in Genos as everything's happening. And now when I say every detail, he's an android, but he's got like heat sinks that are hidden under where his muscles would be and his android skin. And in those muscles will glow orange when he's about to use his incineration attack cannon thing, which kind of makes me think of how I want the Buster Cannon that Mega Man uses to be like shown in a TV show that's a little bit more, or less kid-friendly and a little bit more geared towards adults, if we're going to talk about things like that. And he'll glow. The contrasting colors are there. And when I say the contrasting colors, like, normally it's like, oh, here's a couple shades of gray. And you've got an android when he's walking around normally. No, in this, the sheens are there, so he looks like he's shiny. Everything on him, like, there's different tones and textures of gray, going from gunmetal, a little bit of black, some white, and I just jumped off the edge again. There's a little bit of black, there's some white, and he looks badass. And then you see the heat sinks start to glow underneath of him, and those glow like a vibrant multi-layer of like oranges and reds, which make it look even which make it look even better than any other fight scene, and a lot of other animes I've seen that are actually just really good to look at. I thought that the way that they did that to show each character's power a little bit separately, just it added another layer, that just something that you wouldn't see somewhere else, and it was another way to show power that wasn't just like, oh, here's your DBZ style where the energy waves are coming off of them, and they're, cliches almost, where it's like, oh, you don't even understand his true power. I thought instead it was a very, very good representation of power that I hadn't quite seen before. And so now the show, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are heroes for you actually get to join like a hero association, and so that's what Sachima goes out and does, and it compares him to a lot of other heroes. You get different rankings and things like that. But if you're looking for a good show to watch this weekend, I highly recommend try One Punch Man. I binge watched it all on Hulu. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Anthony, for recommending it and talking about it the last time we were playing Minecraft. I greatly appreciate it, and I can't thank you enough for giving me that, because it was done by the guys who did Trigun, so I loved it alone for that reason by itself. Anyway, winners, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Saturday Morning Cartoons, And if you have any other animes that you're watching or you'd want me to cover, just please let me know, and I'll gladly sit down and binge watch it and give it a like and talk about it for y'all. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and keep it weird. Remember, you're all winners out there.